Man, welcome back to the Cruise Dynasty podcast. Got the fellas with me. Got Kraft, got P. Miller. Gonna just do an episode quick, get straight to the point. Some DFS, we'll hit a few of these lines that we like. Gambling. This one's for you gamblers. Try to make some money. I like making money. Kraft. What up?
Yeah, I love making money. I love doing these DFS things. Sometimes you hit, sometimes you don't, but you know they're fun to do anyway.
I love to gamble.
Me too.
P. Miller, what's up?
Man, you know I'm addicted to this, man. I mean,
Facts.
yeah, I love these DFS things. I'll be doing these ones. You can just throw in 5 cents, and there's thousands of folks in it. But if you get first place, I mean, it comes through. So it's like it's like pretty much playing the lottery for me. But instead of just random, it's like you get to choose who you want. So
Yeah.
I play the lottery. I play the DFS. I do it all.
So
you're gonna win $300 billion though if you win that 5 cent thing.
Man, if I win $300 billion, I'm giving each of y'all $1 billion.
Hey,
just so y'all know.
I appreciate that.
Hell yeah.
I'll gamble it all away.
You better save half of it now.
Shoot,
put it on one game.
We gotta we're gonna go through some DFS lineups first. Man, add the podcast. Subscribe, 5 stars, and then add us on Twitter. But we about to get right to it. Go over some DFS stuff first. Tonight, me and P. Miller, we used FanDuel. Kraft used who'd you use? DraftKings. So some of the prices are going to be different, but we're covering it from all angles. Making sure we get you the best lineup to make some money. So, man, P. Miller, why don't you just drop us yours first, man?
All right, man. I'll start it from the top, man. I went down and saved a little money on my quarterback. I got Geno Smith with Seattle going against Detroit. I mean, I saved some money. He's probably going to have a decent game against them dudes up there. I got Breece Hall, running back. I got Saquon as my other running back.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Saquon's definitely going to have a good game. Breece Hall, he's kind of like, he could have a good game. I'm hoping he does going against Pittsburgh with Zach Wilson coming back. We're just going to see about that one. My 3 wide receivers are Mike Williams, CeeDee Lamb, and Stephon Diggs. Mike Williams, I mean, I feel like it's hit or miss. He had a big game 2 weeks ago and a bad game last week. I feel like he's due for another big game. CeeDee Lamb was pretty cheap for this lineup. He was like $6,800 compared to like Stephon Diggs, who was the most expensive at $8,700. Yeah, I feel like CeeDee Lamb's going to have another solid week. And Stephon Diggs, I mean, he's the most expensive for a reason. But I went out there and got him, saved a little money, was able to pick him up. Then I got Tanyan as my tight end. My flex, I got James Conner. And then I went with Denver as my defense. And I actually got $600 of my salary left over. So I might end up going in and playing with a little more, see who else I can get. But that's who as of right now, I like this lineup. So
it's pretty stacked.
Yeah, that's a stacked lineup. There's no doubt about it. And has some money left over.
Yeah. Go get the Green Bay defense against New England, maybe, if you can.
Yeah, I'll probably end up throwing my extra money into another defense if I can. Maybe my tight end might switch up. I feel like tight end is just, I don't know. If you can hit on a tight end and a defense, like that's how you win the big money. If you just basically got a guessing game on that one. If you get a good defense and a good tight end that go off that week, you're going to win some money. So,
Yeah, Diggs. If Diggs hits, he's not going to win you anything in them tournaments because everybody's going to have him.
right.
He's like 50% owned probably. So there's some smart people that play these things. So like it's them little players, like Phil said, your tight end, your defense, like and the sleeper you pick, like the cheap one.
Yeah.
So Phil
Yeah.
definitely takes the strategy of going a little lower on the running backs, investing real high. Stephon Diggs, I think we all feel like that dude's about to go off. So Phil went out and just snagged him.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely spent more on my receivers. CeeDee Lamb was my cheapest one. And I feel like I got a good deal on him. Mike Williams, I mean, he's like if he'll go off, then I'm guaranteed some money. Running backs, I did go cheap. Saquon and James Conner. I mean, James Conner was cheap too. Him and Brees Hall was pretty close together. I snagged them up. I feel like they could have a good game. Saquon, as long as he don't get hurt against Chicago's defense, he'll probably go off too. So that's just my little lineup. I'm gonna play with it a little bit just because I got a little cash. I just like to play with it. What y'all
Yeah.
got? What y'all thinking?
Shoot. Uh I'll go ahead and do mine since we'll just stick with FanDuel. I went Jalen Hurts for quarterback at 8,600. He was like the third most expensive one. But at running back, I went Najee Harris and Khalil Herbert. Herbert, I think, is probably about to go off. Najee was cheaper than Khalil Herbert this week. I'll take that. So I wanted to put a little more money into my wide receivers. Um, but I didn't go top notch. I went Isaiah McKenzie, Gabe Davis a little banged up. I'm thinking Baltimore and Buffalo is going to be a shootout. Mike Williams with no Keenan Allen going against Houston. You know, I think he should ball out. CD Lamb been getting a lot of targets even with Dak Prescott gone. Then I went Njoku, easy matchup versus the Falcons. Then I went Christian Kirk, who I've been right on all year, my guy. Then went with the Titans defense going against the Colts. Kraft, what you think about that lineup?
It's stacked, man. Both of y'all's lineups are better than mine for sure, by a long shot.
Phil, what you think about them guys right there?
Yeah, I like that lineup. Looks like we both had CD Lamb.
We all
Uh,
got CD.
we all got CD.
We
Yeah,
all got, and we all
y'all
got.
go
Did you
get
get
him.
Khalil Herbert? Phil, I can't remember.
I didn't get him just
Yeah.
because I had him, and then I went down and got James Conner instead of him. I might switch it back though, because that's my flex position right there, my little extra, and I still got money left over, so I'm gonna go play with it a little bit.
There you
I
go.
might get Herbert.
All right. Well, I guess I'm gonna hit my crappy lineup, but DraftKings a little different than FanDuel. I tried to put Matt told me his rankings, and I was like, or his lineup. I was like, I'm just gonna put that in because it's better than mine. But it was 2,000 over the salary, so the salaries is just different. But for quarterback, I got Herbert against Houston. He was the fifth most expensive quarterback. He was about 1,000 cheaper than Hurts. Kyler was actually more expensive than him, which I wasn't even thinking about picking him. So just took a little discount, a pretty decent drop off between like Hurts, who I wanted the most, and then Herbert. But I didn't really like any of the real cheap ones this week. Thought about Zach Wilson if I really wanted to go cheap, but just didn't do that. But
Yeah.
so Herbert against Houston, then I got the other Herbert, Khalil Herbert against the Giants. We're all kind of in on that one.
Yeah.
I got Rashad Penny really cheap against Detroit. He was around where he was going. I wanted a cheap one. He's around Rex Burkhead and Zach Moss. So Like it was a no-brainer right there for a cheap running back. I went CeeDee Lamb. We all got him. Good matchup. Joshua Palmer wanted to get a stack. I like getting stacks with Herbert, and Joshua Palmer's been real solid without Keenan there. He's gotten double digits every week with Keenan out, so felt like he was good for going cheap. Then I went Court against the Raiders. Cortland Sutton is on the DraftKings. I've got him about every single week because he's underpriced every week on DraftKings. He's right next to Alan Lazard right now on DraftKings, so it's like a no-brainer. Got Saquon in my flex, so that was my expensive ones in my lineup were really Herbert, Saquon, and to some extent CD and Sutton. But yeah, Saquon in the flex and Njoku, which me and Matt both have. Both really like that tight end.
Yeah.
And the Titans defense, cheap defense against the Colts. They haven't been able to do a whole bunch this year. So,
P, what you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, I like that lineup. Yeah, if you can hit on that defense for sure, I like that. Titans going against the Colts. I mean, it is what it is with these defenses, though. It's hit or miss. I like that he was able to get old Herbert against Houston. That's a good matchup. That's my weak spot in my lineup is my quarterback. So I like that. I might do a little rearranging. Try to get Palmer instead of Mike Williams in my lineup too, just so I can save a little money and see what else I can get. Because I like what you said there, doubling up on him. But yeah, I like that lineup. What you say, Matt?
Yep, I'm with you. We had some similarities and stuff. I'm with you. I think we all three came out with some stack. We got some pretty good lineups. We all got some differences in there that, always wiggle. It's all, how it is, man. It's hard to win these things, but they're fun. I've been doing a lot of 50-50s. I've just been getting back into it. I hadn't really done these in a long time, but I just started doing them and I'm doing 50-50s. What about y'all? What do y'all do on those?
I do double ups. I do about $25 double up, something like that. And just do about one a week and do the little prize picks thing and roll with that. And, them double ups I just feel like are a
Yeah,
decent thing to
playing
win.
double ups or
Yeah, I'll do like these really cheap the big jackpots, like you put in just cheap like $1 or you'll put in a nickel or a quarter and you can win like, big money, hundreds of bucks if you win first place. I'll do it like that. And if I got like a really good lineup that I like, actually I do that for like the whole full roster. I'll do it like that. And the single games, if it's like a single game, I'll pick like a 50-50, double up, match up. And if I really like that single game lineup, then I'll throw it in one of those big jackpot wins. So it just depends. If it's like full roster, I'll just go for it all, go for the jackpot. If it's like a single game, then I'll do like a double up money kind of thing. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, shoot, man.
I got some advice for these DFS things though.
Go for it.
Which I figured out whenever you get on these things and you do the double ups, like say you're scrolling for double ups, don't do the ones at the very top that's like massive double up. That's like 2,000 people. Scroll down, do a double up with about 20 to 40 people because there was the first week one, I did it. I did win. I finished in the top 50%, but I scored 150 points and barely got in the money. The next week, I won again. I won the double up again, but I went to a smaller thing, and I got it in the money with 125, like 125 points. I mean, it's a totally different week, different fantasy scoring, but I've noticed that the bigger the lobbies, when it comes into them like double ups, the more really good teams are in there, so the higher the points are. you're getting the money.
All right. Yeah, I like that. I like
So
that.
scroll down, find you one with about
strategy.
40 people.
Well, shoot, man. Let's move on to some of these. Let's give the people a few of these lines. I know I picked out a few lines that I liked. We'll talk about a few other ones real quick. This is my favorite part of gambling. I just got into these fantasy things, but I like to bet on these spreads and stuff. First one I went with is the LA Rams versus San Francisco plus 1.5. San Francisco got whatever they got going on, quarterback problems, running back injuries. Got a good defense though, but I think, the Rams, I like that one. 1.5 is what
Yeah.
you think?
You're just projecting the Rams to win that game.
Pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. So that's one that you really like. One that I like is the Packers not to cover 9 points against New England. That's the highest spread this week, and the Packers are really not. They're not all there yet. They are better than the Patriots. They should win this game, but they're just not a team that blows out other teams. So I think the Patriots will probably cover that.
I took
Get
the
maybe
under.
a touchdown at the end. You took the under 40.
40, and I took the under. Phil, what you think about Green Bay, New England?
Yeah, I mean, I think New England will probably cover that. But yeah, I say definitely look for the under. That's going to be a grind of a game. I feel like real
Yep.
defensive matchup. Look for the
Mm-hmm.
Packers to pull away, and they'll probably have a lead the whole game, really. So
Another
they'll
one
probably have
that I took the under on was Chicago, New York Giants, the under 39.5. That's an easy decision for me, even with it being under and it being so low. Still taking the under.
Yeah. That is not a lot of points to cover, but these teams are terrible. So 39. So I'm trying to find it on here. The implied points. So they got Chicago at 3, winning by 3. So they, I guess, around 21 or something like that. I don't know what the implied points are, but yeah, I think they could go over that though. That's not many points at all.
Yeah, I picked the under on that too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's low, but it's low for a reason. I mean, this could be one of those games, like 10-3.
Yeah.
I don't. It might not be like that, but you never know. It might be like 20-17, or something like that. So
Yeah.
just
I got another one. This is my lock. This is my guarantee. Arizona versus Carolina +1. Arizona. I mean, that was the easiest one I felt like I made the whole time. And Arizona
Yeah,
stinks.
they do suck, and I mean, uh, do I feel like these teams have both had like different paths so far this year. Arizona really sucks, and they look terrible, but they played really good teams. They played
Yeah.
Kansas City. They beat the Raiders, and then who did they play last week? They got beat pretty bad, but the Rams. They played the Rams last week, so they've had a very tough schedule. So who knows how bad they really are? And
Yeah.
the Panthers ain't played hardly anybody. Played like the Giants and stuff like that. But yeah, I think the Cardinals, just from a quarterback standpoint, they're just gonna run all over the Panthers.
Yeah.
yeah, I got that one too. One I got, I feel like it's pretty much a lock, is the under on Seattle and Detroit, 47.5. I mean,
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but I feel like that's a lot of points for these two teams when Detroit's missing some key players.
Yep.
Swift's out. Who else is out? Amon Ross out.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be a low scoring game. I feel like.
Yeah, their defense, their defenses are bad. That's why the over/under is kind of high. But like you said, the weapons, losing your two best players, that's got to affect you some.
Shoot. The last line that I liked for this week was y'all convinced me in the last episode. Kansas City, Tampa Bay under 46 on my bookie. I think I said 45.5 earlier. I would take the under. I would also, it's a pick 'em on here. Tampa Bay and Kansas City. I would take, I see a pick 'em like that. I'm taking Tom Brady. Tom Brady, just put a little money on him. Sprinkle it on.
Sprinkle it.
Yeah, I heard that. I feel like Kansas City is going to win that game, but I don't know. I mean, this could be where Tom finally,
Gets right.
decides he's interested in football again. I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see how that game goes. I feel like Kelsey going to have a couple touchdowns in that game, so I hope anyway. I got him on my fantasy team. But we'll see. We'll see how he does.
Oh
Man.
Yeah, I bet you feel good about drafting Kelsey instead of one of them crappy first round running backs that everybody's got dealing with right now.
Yeah, man. At first, I was like, man, why did I pick a tight end so early? Because in all my mock drafts I did, it never worked out. I was like, I don't like this team, but I did it. And when a real draft came, I just forgot about all them mock drafts. I was like, oh, Kelsey, let me get him. And I like my team more and more each week, though. So it might work out. I'll let y'all know.
You ain't gonna work out this week. You can work out next week.
Oh, this week's already done.
Man.
Thursday alone, man.
All right.
It's just started.
Check this out, fellas. Before we wrap it up, I had one more thing I forgot. I put a little money on Kraft. You did some prize picks, didn't you? But check this out. On Sleeper, I did a little thing. I went the under on Kyle Pitts, 4.5 receptions. Stephon Diggs, the over at 83.5 receiving yards. Nick Chubb, the over on 0.5 rushing touchdowns. Jalen Hurts, the over on 304 passing and rushing yards. And then the under on DK Metcalf, 61.5. You disagree with any of them?
The first one. Only the first one.
Kyle Pitts, under 4.5 receptions?
Yeah, I think he might. That's probably the one I would be most scared about. But, I mean, they're all they set these lines for a reason, but they all sound good. I mean, Metcalf is kind of, if I had to say another one that I'd be scared about was the Metcalf one, but the Diggs is a lot. Chubb's probably going to score a touchdown for sure. Jalen Hurts is going to get over 300 yards passing and rushing. I mean, that's just that's a gimme right there, I feel like.
So what's up, man? Y'all got any more gambling stuff out there for the folks?
I ain't got no gambling stuff, but one thing that has been real, I wanted to get y'all's opinion on because this really been bothering me with these running backs and these rankings. Like, people have came up to me and asked me, like, who do I start these weeks and stuff like that, and I have a hard time giving them an answer. But I mean, these mid-range running backs like Singletary, Tony Pollard, Ramondre. Like, just remember these names I'm saying. Singletary, like I said, Pollard, Ramondre, Brees Hall, Miles Sanders, players like that. How do you feel like, how would you rank them guys? Who do you like out of them guys better? Who you just don't like and don't want to start?
Yeah, I got a couple of them on one of my teams. I got Pollard and Miles Sanders on one of my teams, and I'm pretty much forced to start them because just the way my team is built. I
Yeah.
feel fine with Sanders. Like, I feel comfortable starting him just because he's not questionable as of right now. And, he's with Philly, who's rolling. He didn't have a great week last week, but he could have a good week. Tony Pollard is just kind of like, if he can
Yeah.
get his touches, he'll get you some points. But I don't know. The opportunity is limited for him, I feel like. And I don't know. He's kind of just hit or miss. And Ramondre, I don't have him on any of my teams
Yeah,
right
I've been
now. He's
playing
just
him a
kind
little
of
bit.
there.
It's really these committee backs that I'm wanting y'all's opinion on. Like, what with the main? I mean, most of the NFL is committee. So, like, which of these committees do you like? Like, do you? I know we all pretty much like Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb and AJ Dillon and Aaron Jones. Those are probably the top tier committees.
Yeah.
But and Javonte and probably Gordon a little bit. But when you get into these, the Tony Pollard, Ezekiel Elliott, you got Ramondre and stuff like that. It's just hard every week to figure out who in the hell to play. So I was just kind of
Definitely got to check the matchups.
Yeah.
Just go matchup searching. That's how I see it. You know how I feel. I go try to get them running backs that can catch the ball too. Gets that work, that passing work. So,
yeah. As far as those three, I'd go Sanders, Pollard, and then Stevenson.
And Singletary, what about him? Above those guys?
Man.
I would definitely be trying to put Singletary above them.
I would want to, but I wouldn't feel good about it.
About Mostert now.
I don't know, man. That one's tough.
They're all just in that same area
category.
And when they all got like the same kind of matchup, it's kind of just like
So are we agreed? Mostert's above Chase Edmonds. That tide has turned.
I think right now, yeah.
Yeah. That was just one thing I wanted to bring up because that's like one thing that people ask a lot is like who to start right here. And most people are starting these guys. People are starting Pollard. People are starting Stevenson.
Yeah.
And it's like when you have both of them on your same team, like Sanders, if you got like Phil said, Sanders and Pollard, who you playing? So just wanted to put that out there for some folks having some trouble.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yep.
Thing to bring up. It really is all about the matchup that week, and just go with your gut. Sometimes it gets down to it. It is a guessing game with this stuff. So, might just look like a genius.
Let's just wrap it on up, man. We gave the people what they need to do to make some money. Put it in your bank accounts. Thank us later by adding the podcast and add me on Twitter. Add P Miller on Twitter. But yeah, man, that about wraps it up. We out.
Hey.